Hello everybody, and welcome to this another video about Endless Legends 2, where we're going to try and find out what the playable races are. Now, there has been nothing officially released, just the fact that we will have 6 playable races, 4 at the beginning of Early Access, and 2 to be added during Early Access. Now, however, although there isn't anything official, there is a lot of clues that have been released, a couple of screenshots, and the trailer for the game. So we're going to attempt to figure out who the playable races are. Now, if you think I've missed anything or there are any glaring clues that support or deny these theories, let me know in the comments down below. The first playable race I think we're going to have is the Broken Lords or some kind of offshoot. During the trailer, we do get to see a hero that looks very much like the Broken Lords, and during one of the pictures that has also been released where we get to see a couple of the buildings of the different cities, there is definitely a city that looks very Broken Lords. So for our first playable race, I'm going for the Broken Lords. For our second playable race, I'm thinking the Necrophage. We have a beautiful shot of what is a Necrophage hero, at least what I believe to be a Necrophage hero. And then during the end of the trailer, we also have a couple of shots of bug armies, one of them right at the end facing off against another race, making me think that this is also one of the major factions. We also again have a picture of a city, lots of bug-like I'm going to eat your face off style buildings. So for the second race, I'm going to lock down Necrophage. For the first race, as I went and mentioned at the end of the trailer, there was a little clip of bugs facing off. Again, it was what basically looked like Roman Legion human gold metal armor style army, very reminiscent of the United Empire. Now, this is in fact an Endless Space race, as opposed to one from the Endless Legends. They were developed from the Mesorai, who are in Endless Legends 1, but I'm thinking a similar kind of thing, maybe somewhere in the middle of Mesorai and United Empire, basically a human faction covered in gold armor, and I'm going to lock these down as the third playable race. Now, for the fourth playable race, and this is where we are starting to pull at a few more obscure clues. There is a picture of what looks potentially like a hero with kind of like an owl mount. We also do see a couple of flying people in part of the trailer. There's a lovely 3 people flying across. Now, I'm thinking this is kind of a Wild Walkers style faction. We do see another humanish style faction in some of the pictures and part of the trailer. And I'm thinking there's more of kind of like the nature-loving as opposed to destructive human playable race in the game as well. So for the fourth faction, I'm going to lock down Wild Walkers or Wild Walkers-esque. I don't think it'll quite be the Wild Walkers, but I think it'll be something similar. Now for the fifth faction, once again, I'm going off a picture of a hero we can see. There are a lot of other pictures, but of course we know we're going to have minor races as well. So some of these I think then get a bit harder to pull out and define major factions. But what there is a picture of a hero standing above ruins as we get to see the Tidefall mechanic. Now this hero, skinny, kind of skeletal, definitely warrior looking with feathers coming out of the headdress. And this makes me picture the Hisho from Endless Space 2, a basically warrior samurai style faction. And so I think something along these lines. So is it going to be, an early version of the Hisho, before they ended up in space, maybe more of a bit of their origin race? But that's what I'm going to lock down for our race number 5. Something similar again, maybe not quite called Hisho, but something similar, maybe again an early version of. Now, when we get to the sixth playable race, this is where we have kind of started to run out of clues. There are several pictures throughout the trailer. We've got a aquatic-looking race. Now, I don't think this is going to be a playable race, simply because there's a tidefall mechanic, which we very much know about, where as the game goes on, the water level decreases. Now, this for me means that if you end up with the aquatic race as a playable major faction, as you get further and further into the game, I feel like you're going to get really, really disadvantaged playing this major race. And I don't know, that seems like a bit of a mechanic that goes against one of the main mechanics of the game. Because, I mean, Tidefall is a really big thing of this game. We also get to see centaurs. Again, I'm thinking minor faction. We also get to see what looks a bit like a geomancer. Now, I would love for these to be a major faction. I truly, truly would. And maybe they would be. I can see it happening. But the Geomancers, they also look quite United Empire Gold Human faction. You know, these giant golems kind of thing. So again, I'm kind of picturing minor faction. And honestly, I'm really not quite sure who the sixth faction could be. I don't think we've been given too many clues. We've been given plenty of teasers, you know, like I said. Could be this guy, could be that guy. But I also don't think we've seen any standout heroes or anyone that particularly draws me in and makes me think, hey, I'm really leaning on this guy. So let me know, as I said at the beginning, in the comments down below, who do you think the sixth faction is going to be? Or most point, who do you want the sixth faction to be? But there you go. There's a quick look at who I think the major playable races are going to be for Endless Legends 2. And until next time, as per always, stay safe, happy, and healthy.